So no joke, I think the IPO of this stock will be the biggest IPO of 2021. If it IPO'd in 2020 when the IPO market was going crazy, I genuinely think it probably would have done better than Airbnb, which is a bold statement. But Roblox is about to IPO any day now, and is it worth investing in on its IPO day? Well, the only way to find out is to create your own little square avatar and make sure to give them an STI. So we're talking IPOs again and Roblox, but before we get into that, if you are new here, please do subscribe and turn on the bell and make sure that that like button is turned blue. It absolutely helps me out a great deal, so please make sure that like button is at least clicked. If you want to support the channel, there are some perks on Patreon down in the description, and if you want to go one step further and you're not from the US or Canada, sign up with eToro on the pinned comment, deposit, make one simple trade, and you get free lifetime access to the investing chat room. Now, if you don't know what Roblox is, basically it is a free gaming software designed for children. It is like a mixture of Lego meets computer games. That's the only way I can describe it. Maybe I'm a bit too old and I don't really know that much about gaming anymore. After all, in 1998, I was Space Invader champion in the small town of Whitby in the northeast of England. But coming back to Roblox, it is an online game that anyone can log in for free. You download the app and you can play on the iPad, you can play on PlayStation, and it has its own currency called Robux. Very creative there. But in this free-to-play game, you can log in and basically do all the activities you could do as a normal human. You can go swimming, you can go running, you can go mining. So it's a little bit like Lego meets a game meets Minecraft. Maybe that's a better way of describing it. But kids for sure love it. In fact, my nephew, who is currently around about 4 or 5 years old, cannot get off the thing. Now, as of late 2020, there are 164 million active users. And also, more than 50% of US kids under the age of 16 have used Roblox at some point last year. They also have 56 million active players who come back every single month, which is a lot more than Minecraft has. And we all know how big Minecraft actually became. Now, Roblox will become the ticker symbol RBLX. Now, it actually started filing for its IPO back in the end of 2019, with the aim to raise around about $1 billion US. Now, Roblox decided to do a direct listing rather than your traditional IPO that we've seen at Airbnb. I think it's seen Airbnb stock and DoorDash and companies of the sort go crazy on their IPO day and get crazy valuations, so it's capitalized and it's going to do a direct listing, which in my opinion can be quite bad news, and I'll come on to why in a little bit later. Now, Roblox has raised $520 million US from private financing so far, which is actually more than half of its initial goal of raising that $1 billion US. Now, as mentioned, it will be a direct listing, and the reason why this is bad is with a direct listing, what it means is the insiders, shareholders, and people who've bought in before the IPO price, who are insiders, can actually sell on its IPO day, which usually is a bad sign because it means that your CEO, your CFO, or people who've just been given shares of the company can sell on day one, which can drive the stock price down if they're willing to sell. Now, Roblox is currently valued at $29 billion US. Crazy to say for a game that costs nothing to play. But that valuation is actually 7 times when it was last valued in February 2020. And if we look at the filings so far, Roblox is also looking at raising a further $30 million US via offerings. But I wouldn't worry too much about that because $30 million US in a company that's worth $29 billion is not a lot of capital to raise, to be honest, and I think they could easily do that at any time through an offering. Now, Roblox came online in 2006 and it actually seen massive growth during the current situation we're all living in. Kids are locked down at home and bored out of their heads. Parents are going cuckoo crazy and don't know what to do, so they throw them their iPad and say, look, do anything but don't spend money. And most of the kids, they're spending money. Revenue year on year in the third quarter of last year is up a massive 91% year on year. That's crazy growth. Granted, most of it is because of the current world situation, but 91% growth year on year is nonetheless nothing to be laughed at. Now, the revenue generated in that third quarter last year was actually $242 million US, which isn't a small penny either. So it's no secret that Roblox is growing very fast. But as always with IPOs, you should be very careful investing on IPO day. We've seen companies like Airbnb and DoorDash list and be very volatile on the opening few days. Now, given the fact that this is a direct listing, you should be double safe. So for me, I just wait a couple of months, couple of weeks at least, until you invest into Roblox. The company is growing very fast, and the longer this pandemic goes on, its revenues will grow. That thing is for sure. But that said, we don't know the filings that well, we don't know how much the company is actually making, and more importantly, we don't really know how much debt they're going to accumulate over the coming months. But the biggest thing for me is Roblox currently have one big asset. What will be the next asset? If we look at Fortnite was the biggest thing since sliced bread 2 years ago, and now it's really died down. Quite frankly, it didn't diversify. I call it Angry Bird syndrome. Now, if we look at Angry Birds, when it first came out, it had Angry Birds 1 and 2 on the iPhone, and it was destroying it, making hundreds and hundreds of millions. Then it started making cartoons and teddies trying to grasp onto the Angry Birds name. Where in real fact, what the company CEOs and CFOs should have actually done is went and bought a complete new concept and diversified. We've seen that with big tech companies where Facebook bought Instagram. That's a bigger scale, I know, but where they completely diversified their portfolio in a slightly different sector. That's what Angry Birds should have done. That's what Fortnite should have done. And to be honest, this is what Roblox should do. So if you are watching this, please just go and diversify a little bit. Now, the way they could do this quite easily is they have the hook on kids. In my opinion, they should start their own version of YouTube for kids. I think there's a big market for that. And YouTube is really struggling with child ads. I don't know how they do it, but I think there's a big gap in the market. And if someone from Roblox is watching this, it's my idea. And if you take it, I will sue you with everything you have. 29 billion US dollars. Jokes aside, I think there is a big gap in the market for that slight child audience, and I don't think anyone's capitalized on it just yet. So unless they diversify, for me, Roblox could become a phase. It could be like Tamagotchi, it could be like Pokemon cards. Well, Pokemon cards are actually coming back, but it could be like something like a Tamagotchi or an Angry Bird situation. So for me, Roblox, you need to diversify. As always, I'd love to know your thoughts. If I've missed anything, drop it down in the comments. I will probably do another video on Roblox as it comes because it is a stock that I am actively watching. And if they do look at diversifying, like Peloton just did, I'm sure they've seen my video, then I might actually look at buying some. But in full transparency, I'm not going to be buying on the IPO day, and I still haven't bought any Peloton. Probably won't either. Please make sure that like button is turned blue and subscribe and turn on the bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Peace.